Let's not think because Nelson Mandela has passed on, the world has come to South Africa, all is well. All is not well.
Truly speaking, Zuma is fucked up in the country.
We are in an economical civil war. We cannot run away from that.
South Africa is free, but you say economically South Africans are not free. Why?
What is happening in South Africa? If Mandela is an icon, then these people following him, are they understanding his vision?
Nelson Mandela, revolutionary, prisoner, and statesman, a symbol of reconciliation.
He was the glue that brought us together. He was the unifier. Black and white, Indian, colored, all got together. We saw each other as the children of Madiba.
Our Tata Nelson Madiba unite each and every nation.
Yeah.
And he makes us one. We promise God that we are going to follow the example of Nelson Mandela.
In life, he helped topple an oppressive system and led a young nation into democracy. In death, the man known affectionately as Tata Madiba leaves a contentious economic legacy behind.
We require an economy that is able to address the needs of all the people of our country.
After his death, 10 days of mourning were announced ahead of Nelson Mandela's funeral, a time of celebration and sober reflection for many South Africans. I went back home to Johannesburg, the country's economic engine. I wanted to find out if Madiba's Rainbow Nation, the miracle that had emerged from the darkness of racist apartheid rule, was living up to his lofty ideals.
So Madiba handed us this valuable thing. Are we squandering it now?
I think to a certain extent we are squandering it. I'm not negative about South Africa, but I'm saying let's not be too complacent. Let's not think because Nelson Mandela has passed on, the world has come to South Africa, all is well. All is not well. There's inequality in this country, there's corruption in this country.
Who here cares about the shacks in Alex or Guguletu or Dipsworth? Who cares? Really? And black or white or Indian?
Black or white,
yeah.
Black or white. In fact, what has happened is that we've actually created a class divide.
South Africa is wealthy. It is also officially one of the most unequal countries in the world. Here, the richest 10% makes 51 times more money than the bottom 10%. The inequality is deep, but not unique among developing countries, like in Brazil, where the richest 10% makes 42 times more than the bottom 10%. But in the economic powerhouse of the United States, the top 10% makes 15 times more. And it is in the country's sprawling urban townships like Soweto, where most of the poor live. Kliptown is a district of Soweto. On a warm Wednesday morning, I found locals offering their goods and services in this marketplace. The place had a lot of life, but nobody was really buying or selling anything. I met the aunties, Agnes and the two Elizabeths, who told me business was slow.
So these are offcuts from a factory, right? You guys are making cushions out of this, man.
Yeah.
Who's faster, you or Mama Elizabeth?
You can see yourself.
Yeah. The cushions sell at $5 a piece.
They're soft. It's like a girlfriend.
3 out of 4 people in Kliptown were unemployed in 2005. That's when the government stepped in and pumped in around $50 million to uplift the place. This market was created and an open-air museum to commemorate one of the most important dates in South African history. You see, Kliptown was where the Freedom Charter was signed.
Do you know the history of that?
I didn't even go. Just passing.
In 1955, all the groups opposing apartheid, basically, well, they got together, including Madiba, and they signed the Freedom Charter here in Kliptown, saying, you know, the people shall share of the land and they should there should be equality and no racism. And
Providence, who's from Zimbabwe, says he used to send money to his family back home. He just doesn't make enough anymore, so he can't. He studied music there. He's a hairdresser in a kiosk over here.
As I can see, this economy in South Africa is like going down instead of rising.
Tsepo is his friend, but other South Africans have been less welcoming to Providence. Xenophobic attacks have been on the rise in recent years. Providence says that a gang recently threatened him and some Malawian immigrants, warning, "Once Mandela is buried, we're coming for you."
you know, the reason a lot of South Africans give is they say, these guys are taking my job or our jobs. Is that true in any way?
It's true, because you know, South African people, most of them, they are lazy.
Tsepo, you're South African, do you agree?
No. I don't even know.
Do you know what the unemployment figure is? Hi, how are you? Oh, you want some water? Okay, you can have some.
Providence earns, on average, just over $100 a month. He spends more than half of that on accommodation.
Do you live in a shack?
Yeah.
Is it here in Kliptown?
In Eldorado Park.
In Eldorado. Will you show it to me? If you have time.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
A 2011 census indicated the number of people in South Africa living in shacks or informal settlements was almost 2 million out of a population of 50 million.
Tell the youth I will improve their living soon. I'm well into the revenues I've given. Who is willing to forbid the paths of spreading truth? Cause that will do a lot of harm to what I've done. My plot is one of minerals, it's minimal. Forget the past.
In talking to people, I started to recognize a theme. Many young South Africans felt cheated by the ANC. Some were even disappointed by the compromises Madiba made at the end of apartheid. There was talk of a new revolution.
Personally, I feel that he let us down. He let us down.
I met Lufuno Gogoro of the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, outside the memorial at FNB Stadium. He told me the group left the memorial early to avoid a violent standoff with the ANC Youth League, the youth wing of the ruling party. Both sides were accused of booing President Jacob Zuma at Madiba's memorial, a cause for national and international embarrassment.
The constitution actually doesn't address the economical injustices. It is speaking about us laughing to each other, going to the same toilets, marrying one another, rainbow nation. That is not it. We are in an economical civil war. We cannot run away from that.
So you
that
want
is why
another
we demand
civil
it now.
war to fix the civil war?
This is a cold civil war. People are fighting against one another. People are
Where's
getting
the civil
robbed.
war?
If you can look at these people they hate one another because of we don't have
I was in
money.
Cape Town just now.
Because you're white. Because you're white.
I'm brown, man.
Because you're brown. Because you're Indian, actually.
Does this feel like civil war to you?
Yes, this is, if you cannot benefit, you start to hate one another. People are killing one another. Let me tell you.
You sound a bit romantic, like the berets and Che Guevara. I don't know, it sounds like sort of Soviet, Marxist, maybe Stalinist nostalgia. It sounds nostalgic, it doesn't sound real.
It feels like we are fantasizing. But
it sounds like you're fantasizing.
But the reality is that...
Because I look at you and I see here's a guy who really cares about South Africa. You care.
Too much.
The things that break my heart about South Africa break your heart as well, right? The inequality, seeing people in the shacks.
Yeah.
But do we have to really wear these berets and wear red and chant slogans and call each other comrade and stuff to get a revolution? Can't we have an authentic South African revolution? This sounds like a foreign import. Your slogans sound foreign.
Economic freedom in our lifetime. That is our slogan. We demand that now.
Lufuno's leader, the EFF Commander-in-Chief Julius Malema, has developed a cult-like following among the youth of South Africa. Malema used to be the leader of the ANC Youth League and loyal to President Zuma. But Malema got caught up in allegations of fraud and corruption and was expelled from the ANC, making Zuma his enemy. Malema's followers insist that his calls for radical economic transformation were unpopular with a ruling party that they believe had sold out the dreams of the black majority. The party is young, but their impact has already been strong. Malema and his followers are often demonized by media, both local and international, and seen as an unruly, uneducated mob wanting to plunder the nation's wealth and plunge the country into chaos. A crowd of EFF revolutionaries and their leader Malema met at a nearby petrol station and arranged to march to the Mandela home in the upper middle class suburb of Houghton. They wanted to show wealthy locals that they came to pay their respects and not to cause any trouble.
Malema. And if you put Malema and Mandela's names together, people will say you're using the man's death to promote your political party. Okay. Show them that you care about South Africa, that's all.
Don't write what this guy is saying.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Shorter.